I forget how to use this sometimes. So, oh my God, I really do. Live on Facebook? No.
I'm trying to get a hold of Rex and see if he's still going to the jail with me.
What jail?
Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. We're supposed to go in there overnight.
All right, we're going live. Oh, that's scary. Gosh, there's going to be a picture of Jenny and I on this damn thing. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Oh, God. That's what got me flustered on my last video I did. Fix it. Okay, so I think we're live. So
We are live.
we think's good. Okay. Put it on mute. Funny. All right. Sorry, guys. Welcome to channel 27. Today is an exciting day. This is like a reunion. These two buddies for a long time. These are very good friends of mine. You all probably know Jeff, the Christian whistleblower, and this is Sandra Dee, who is a life coach, very spiritual person, great at meditation, great at guiding you in a nice spiritual practice. So all of her information, all Jeff's information, probably most of you are subscribed to me and Jeff both because we come from the same little clique. So Jeff is an author, wonderful person. He makes rods, he does readings, he does tarot, he does the cards of truth, I think still, yeah?
Absolutely. I've kind of fallen out of them a little bit, but that's definitely a big part of what I'm doing. Thanks for mentioning it.
Yes, and he has a ton of spiritual things. You can go on his website. It's thechristianwhistleblower.com. We're going to stick all of their information in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channels. You'd be missing out if you aren't. So today is going to be so much fun because we are going to talk about these two little love bugs. So Sandra and Jeff, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourselves real quick, just in case you're new, don't know, you two, even though most do, but go ahead.
Sandra, go ahead.
So thanks, Heidi, for having us on. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So yeah, actually it was you, Heidi, that gave me a reading in December and kind of pushed me to start my own YouTube channel. So thank you. I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers the other day. So that was fun. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been an interesting journey. So I'm coming up on my recovery date, my sobriety date in June. And I guess you could say it started there.
3 years.
3 years in June. And the basis of my work, really, I don't work with many divination tools, if you will, but the basis of my work is based on direct experience. So I help people, I'd like to help people, and more people than I'm helping now, reach a place of self-empowerment and full liberation through real life practices, practical techniques like meditation and writing, and using my intuition, of course, and my direct experience with things.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you don't need the charts. In your chart, Sandra, like when I re-brought it up, I was like, oh my God, she doesn't. It's like I just got chills too, because when I saw your chart, you have a struggle. It's a struggle, but it leads to a higher purpose, and
yeah.
When you have K2 conjunct Venus, conjunct planets like Mars, and it's in some hard houses, it gives you some struggles, but you're here to learn these things to help people and to do that. I was saying that in just a reading I just did recently. So there's definitely, you don't even need divination. Like Jeff and I, we need a little practice. We need a little help. We've got a little, we need some tools sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'll say, because Jeff and I are practical. We're, more so are you though, Sandra, quite honestly.
Logical for sure. Yeah.
You are very, and that's the thing about you. You also have a moon in Virgo. Okay. So, yeah. And I forgot about that. So that's like a nice balance, and it balances those two things out. So very mystical and helping, and very, so. Now what about you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people here probably know me again because we're both kind of came through the Rex Bear ranks. And again, thanking Rex for being one of the great mentors on YouTube. But I spent 20 years as a licensed minister with the Assemblies of God, the largest Pentecostal denomination. Realized that was a sham, I believe, and moved into this more free form and new thought spirituality. And for a long time, my basic work was about the Christian whistleblower, exposing the fear and guilt and control matrix that is Christianity. we've begun to branch out a little bit more into new cosmic knowledge. So yes, we're still doing that CWB work. I jokingly say I'm the artist formerly known as the Christian Whistleblower. And we're still doing a lot of that, but we're moving into more real world, practical. Okay, we've freed ourselves from religious bondage. Now what? Where do we go from here? Practical, real world, rubber meets the road information that can help people get from where they are to where they want to be. And the whole thing really is realize you're divine, realize you're sovereign, realize you're free, and unindoctrinate yourself.
Yep. It's so true, because we go down the research holes and then we can kind of get stuck there, you know? So I think it's good that you're doing that, practically putting it to use, because then now's the time. And now's the time. I've been saying it all with astrology transits. And if you don't know, I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I've been doing Vedic astrology for a few years now on myself and on everybody around me to learn it for myself. And you know, it's really helped me. So it's changed.
And you called this relationship.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? And it was funny because, and there's certain, and I'm going to say I have horrible relationships. Okay. Quite honestly, the worst in the world. So I'm really good at looking at what's not good and what is. And my teachers that really are great with relationships, which Ernst Wilhelm, who is also, you know, who you do the cards of truth with.
Love Ernst.
Love him. Yeah.
Amazing. And I'll say this, Ernst has the same karma as me in his chart, but he fixed it. You know, like he has something in his chart. And so I really take his advice and admire it 100%. And then Sam Jeppy, who, so sometimes when you have the nodes in your first and seventh house, you tend to be pretty good at giving advice on relationships because you're giving advice that you wish you could do.
Yeah.
So like you can.
Well, I know how to screw relationships up. So based on that information, I finally got it right this time.
You know what, Jeff? You're not that bad though. You're really yours isn't. I would have to say, I hate to say this, but Sandra struggles. I would say had more struggles in relationships.
Yep, for sure.
Objectively, that's true.
That's true.
100%.
And if you haven't watched Sandra's videos on her channel, Sandra Dee about the empath, narcissist nexus of how you get sucked into those things, it is transformational stuff. Everybody check it out. And if you want to see my YouTube channel, just go to Jeff Dougherty Show. We got about 1,400 videos or so now.
Yeah, lots of stuff. And right now it's in the description box, but I'll pin it in the comments too.
Thanks.
So if you know, this is my backup channel, guys. We only have a few more weeks left. June 5th, counting down the days.
Oh, it's not funny. June 5th, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been on a big, nice ban. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna talk about twin flames because I watched the video you two did together and I really liked it. Because
do you believe in twin flames, Heidi Vandenberg?
I'm skeptical. I'm just gonna be 100%.
Yeah.
A month ago, 3 months ago, I would have said, get out of here.
Never.
You're crazy.
But like we put titles on all this stuff, like twin flames, you know,
Right.
all language. Okay, so I will say it's like a karmic relationship. Now, whether it's good or bad, I call everything a karmic relationship. Now, that's how I look at things. But that's just my personality, you know. And there have been bonds that I've had with people that you think it's your soulmate or whatever, your twin, because there's a difference, right? They say between soulmate, twin flame.
Right.
That's right.
But we put these titles on these things. So, you know, is there a bond you can have with somebody that's so transformational, that's, you know, like a great partner to be in your life and blah, 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 blah? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm sure that's the case. Some people get it this life. Some people don't. But some people also are going to have to go through a shitstorm of relationship problems to learn who they are.
Yeah.
And that would be
That would be me.
That would be Sandra.
Oh, that would be Sandra.
You know, and the biggest one was with myself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like without a doubt, if I hadn't done all the self-work and transformed my inner world, that I would not be sitting here for sure. But this connection between Jeff and I feels so organic. I mean, there's way too many details to get into, but everything about it is so natural. It's so organic. It feels like we've done this before. And I remember when I called you up and I asked you, when I knew that we were going to start, go on a date or whatever, I remember I asked you, can you compare the charts? Because I just knew innately that this was going to be an organic connection. Mm-hmm. And I remember you saying something like, you know what? It's almost as if you guys were together before and now it's time to meet back up.
So what I said was, this could be a past life relationship because of the conjunctions that are in here, but it's not the karma. It's that crap karma that
Yes.
like this. Okay, because honestly, Sandra, you can't have anything surrounding that K2 Venus mess. It's like that. It's like you might as well have K2 in the first house. K2 Venus, Mars in the 8th house is stressful. Okay. And there's a lot of unsettlement there. And there's a lot of, and that's why you had to search and search. It's like having K2 in the first. Okay?
Is that Sandra's chart?
Yeah. Sorry. You said I could say it, right? We could.
For sure. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Because this is what, and sometimes you and Jeff's looking, I'll show you what you guys are looking for in each other's chart, like how Jeff thinks about what he wants in a relationship, and same with Sandra. So what Sandra needs though is somebody to like. K2's moksha. Okay. So K2 tends to like something that's more spiritual relationship, something that's deeper, something that's, and it's hard to find that. Okay. Because let's be honest, sometimes, it's just not an everyday occurrence. You walk into, something where you two are like-minded to a degree, but different, totally different too. And it's a good balance. And Jeff has his own things, like his own, Jeff has his own can of worms. We'll get there. But, and it's funny because, Jeff and I on YouTube, we always have we have a lot of haters together. It's because we're intense and we speak the truth. Okay. And I have seen Jeff's tone 100%. He's still the same Jeff, don't get me wrong, but his tone, I can see he's happier. You know what I mean? It's just, you can see
really.
Yeah.
See it in your persona. Yeah, absolutely. Like you're not as, it's just a word I don't even know how to say.
He's a little softer maybe around the edges.
Yeah, he still is the way he is. It's Jeff. But you can see, I've always known the nice side of Jeff. He's been very open, but sometimes, you're on these YouTubes, you're on guard. I mean, it just is it's a natural instinct because you're being watched, you're being constantly criticized. People are watching every move. They watch everything and look for one hair to be off, and they're freaking commenting saying you're whatever. It's just a lot of stuff. So when you're not when you feel a little out of sorts, it really can throw you off. But I can tell Jeff is happy. And Sandra, you always seem very happy to me. So, I mean, and that's just your personality.
It's my nature. Yeah.
Very.
Heidi, I've learned one thing. I'm the last of the eternal optimists, and every glass I look at is half full. There's never a glass that's half empty. And when I look at the past, I was a big believer and very guilty of this, and it's just now changing for me. Boy, if only this could have happened, if that could have happened. Why did we have to spend so much time here? Why do we have to spend so much time there? But looking at my past, looking at Sandra's past, and looking at even the way that we came together, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. I've come to realize that even the things that are in your past that you didn't think were good, in many ways, they were still of service to you. And maybe this is encouragement for somebody right now. If you're in a place that you can't figure out, you think it's horrible, you think it's bad, there's one day that if you'll do the inner work, if you'll learn to meditate, if you'll get your chart read by Heidi and get yourself a path to walk on, you'll look back one day and you'll say, wow, I can see why those things happened to me. And instead of saying, man, those things were terrible, why did they happen to me? The light goes on and you're like, that's why that happened. And you almost become to the place where you're in gratitude for everything that happened, because you realize that if everything that happened didn't happen exactly the way it happened, you wouldn't be at the place you are now. And Heidi, I wouldn't trade anything to be where I am now.
And I think, Jeff, I've said that to you too, because, I've told you some of my stories with relationships and some of the things I've dealt with. And
your relationships were so bad, they made me feel better.
Yeah, right? I mean, seriously, anybody has a conversation on the slide with me about the things the relationships that I've had, you will say, wow, maybe my marriage is
saying, damn, I thought I was messed up.
And I'm going to say, it's a lot of me that inflicts it. Okay. I'll admit that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's anybody else. I put myself in those situations and I sabotage shit and test people and see, that's my problem. Okay. So that's why I've realized right now it's not the time. And you have to accept that. Okay. So you have to know you're ready to as well. And I'm going to say, I'm very hesitant, like when people ask me about twin flames and relationships, about saying to somebody no. Why? For what you just said. Because karmically, if I tell somebody not to go date that person, okay, and they don't, I do feel like that what if they were going to meet somebody that they were supposed to meet from meeting that person?
Right.
Right.
Okay, think about it. I thought about this. I've been thinking about this a lot when everybody's like, do more relationships. And I'm like, what I would do is this. I'm going to tell you all the traits about that person to watch out for, be on the lookout for, but you have to make those decisions, and that's what astrology, you can't use astrology to make every decision in your life. You have to use it as a tool, not to control,
Right.
you have to be like a little modest about it. So.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I've always respected about your work, Heidi, is you're not the kind of person that says, okay, here's a reading, here's what you should do. You provide people all the information and say, now you've got the information, you do what you want.
Right.
You should have heard the reading I gave somebody last night. It was so intense, and it was like, but it had to be that way. I mean, because that's what they need to hear. And, it's not going to be all easy breezy sometimes,
That's true.
And you're going to hear stuff from me you don't want to hear. And it's going to make you feel really strange that I know this about you, and all I have is your birthday and your time, and it's weird, and that's how it was for me. But I don't judge anybody, and I have all my own demons, so that's how you get over them.
Well, your chart that you pulled for us was eerily accurate.
Yeah.
All right, let's share in the screens, and I'll show you. Okay, so Jeff, did I have this time 3:30 on the nose?
Yeah, yes, that's what my birth certificate says.
On the nose, like right at that 3:30 mark?
I think it was actually 3:34.
I think you're right. I knew it wasn't 3, like on the nose. I had it.
At 3:34. And you have Clearwater, right? Yep.
Nice.
I recognize that software.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll have to say, you were right about the car. I didn't get that Mercedes.
Yeah. Every now and then, every blind squirrel finds a nut.
But I will tell you what did happen. I've had freaking some bad luck, like those cards said too. And another thing I had, 2 mirrors broke in my house.
Wow.
In 1 week.
Wow. I'm always
that?
leery about that. Yeah.
I have a lot of mirrors in my house. But I'm just saying, I decorate with mirrors. So I like mirrors.
No comment.
No comment.
I'm not going to say anything, but every time I'm talking to Sandra, and she'll be looking like, checking out if she's super cute or not. So I know what you're going through.
No, but I don't even look in them. I'm not one of those people. I really don't look in mirrors a lot at all, quite honestly.
Of course, she is super cute. So
I just like them because I like how they look. I think they look
absolutely
classy. That's just okay. So Jeff is okay. So as you see, this is Jeff's chart. All right. So Jeff's a Virgo rising. Jeff is a moon, and I'm going to keep this kind of brief because there is so much to go through with relationships, but I'm going to do like a quick, what you can immediately pull to see kind of what's good, what's not, what's Jeff looking for, what's Sandra looking for. So, right. And this is Jeff's first house, second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So when you go around all the houses and, Jeff's a Virgo, critical, perfectionist. I hate being late when I'm always late with Jeff's videos. And I know he's probably like, she's going to be late. Right. But I guarantee he said that.
I call it Heidi.
He did.
He did. That's Heidi and Rex time.
Yeah. He did it twice.
So in Virgo's like perfection. They're very critical. They're quick to judge you. But honestly, it's just, they're looking out. That's how I look at that. They're looking out. They like things a certain way. They sometimes can procrastinate on certain things because they know when they do it, they got to go balls to the wall. That's how Virgo is. So they'll put things off. It's like, you'll just, things you don't want to deal with, they can just stack up under your, whatever.
And he's rising Virgo, and because I'm the moon, so it just sounds like me when you're talking about this.
Right. So how Jeff?
Heidi, we had a discussion. It wasn't an argument, but it was just a discussion about we were doing something with a car. And she calls me up. I said, oh, yeah, I'll check it. She's like, I know you didn't check on it. I know you didn't call him. I know you procrastinate. I know you put it off. Right. She happened to be wrong that time, but I do have that tendency towards procrastination because like you say, when I do it, it's all out
All or
100%.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a Virgo, and it's Hasta, the nakshatra, so good with your hands, good at healing. You know, I've kind of gave you a little reading on air before, but Hasta is also controlling. So Jeff has
It's what?
a little bit controlling. Okay. So Jeff has some controlling tendencies. All right. And it's not just in relationships. It's with a lot of things. He likes to be in control. It's like a masculine trait. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's a good thing. So he likes to be in control. It's one of the most creative nakshatras. Hasta is very good at creating things. You know, that's why he reads palms.
I don't like to leave things to chance.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, and you have to look, when you look at a relationship chart, first of all, you have to judge the individual, not judge. You have to look at the person's chart. Are they capable of having relationships? What kind of relationships are they going to have? Okay. And you have to look at the Navamsha chart too. And Jeff, your Navamsha chart is a little dicey, but doesn't matter. We're not going to go get too much into that. Mainly it's your birth chart. So
Okay.
Navamsha charts that takes your 9th house and breaks it down. So it's what you look at for marriages. It's what you look at for what you turn into, like the potential of your birth chart.
Right.
Okay.
As a Virgo, but here's the deal. Each sign is different. Like Virgos they don't like to lose. They don't like to fail. So if you want something and you want to make it work, you won't let this Rahu Venus control you. You know what I mean? Because Virgos are all about like, they don't want to do the wrong thing. They want to be right, you know?
Yeah.
And if they set their mind to something, they want it to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have Kate too, and it's so crazy to see your yearly chart, how you guys met and the year, how it happened, because I looked at all this morning. So then you have to look at your 7th house. Okay, well, 7th house, you have Jupiter and Revati. So when you look at your 7th house, you know, and Jeff has Jupiter there, Jeff is looking for a spiritual person too. Okay,
Yes.
somebody that's not somebody that has a lot of wisdom, somebody that's not like a dud, okay? Somebody that's very creative, like has a creative personality. It's in the nakshatra of Revati, music, all this, you know, caring. It's a nice nakshatra. Jupiter's, you know, that's a great nakshatra. And Revati's heavily in Sandra's chart when you see it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's that noise?
And what does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
It means I meet the criteria of what you're looking for.
Oh, so that's what you're saying. She meets the criteria
He
that I'm looking for.
activates that to a certain degree, okay? But
Okay.
he activates other things too.
So Sandra activates that aspect that I'm looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
She definitely has she definitely has nakshatras there that conjunct your nakshatras. So in Vedic astrology, when they arrange marriages, okay, which I don't 100% think that, I think there's more parts to this, okay? So I think there's a good solid base. I go with, there are karmic curses that can ruin relationships. I do believe like there's these 2 things, and I'll show you guys, but you don't have those, so don't worry.
Right.
So yeah, you're good. But you know, so the 7th house is very important. You have to look at a man where the Venus is. Venus is in the 8th house. Okay. So that's, you know, that's very sexual, very intense, you know, very, pleasure, quick pleasure. Like it's like, you're always seeking for this. Okay. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
I'm not sure I like the quick part. I don't like the implications of
Whatever.
that.
You know what I mean? I don't mean it like that. Oh God. All right. But what I mean by that is there's a lot of like sexual, that's probably good sex energy that now
There is.
starts together yet, but hold on.
Well, thank you.
All right. That's the 8th house, because the 8th house is sex, but it's also control, manipulation, scandals. So there's a lot of other things. Now,
We're talking about my chart?
yeah, in your chart. But that doesn't mean that you do it. That means that could have happened in your life, and we won't go there. But you know,
Oh, it has happened in my life.
Isn't that
okay,
it?
I didn't know how much you wanted me to say. So,
Oh, it has really happened in my life. You know, Sandra had her battles, and I fought through my dark night of the soul around those issues. I realized that I was, you know, what I call a suppressive person, and that's a person that wants to control and make sure that I've got, you know, like it's like if you're taking a person and treating them like cattle, you're trying to herd them and get them to go the way you want them to go, rather than allowing them their own sovereignty and divinity and freedom to go their own way.
yeah,
And I had to defeat that.
And I'll say the person that you were possibly with prior was like a free spirit, kind of like, you know, into not maybe a little bit wanting to be a little not like that. All right. It could have been. Now, I'm not
Let's say that monogamy wasn't a high priority.
Yeah. So, and I don't, you know, we don't want to go too much into that, but
Right.
point is, it's in your chart that can happen to you. How it pans out, if you do it, whoever does it, it's in the chart. So
Interesting.
that's there. Okay. Because Venus is women. The 8th house is manipulation, scandals, but it's also sex and it's secrets. It's also all this other stuff. So there is some of that in your chart. So it's not bad though. It would also make somebody that would be really good, like in stock market investing. So never, it's not always bad. Okay. So there's just there, you have to look at charts overall. And then you have to look at the 9th house, which you have a very strong 9th house, Jeff. And that's like now, but it's, you have Mercury in Kritika, Sun in Kritika, and Moon in Rohini. Okay. So for you, like your whole life, you can see where does Virgo, what rules Virgo, Mercury, where does it sit in the 9th house? The 9th house is like higher knowledge, wisdom, PhDs, spirituality, and that's your path, period.
Right.
You know it, and that's just how it goes. And, you know, Rohini is one of the favorite wives of the moon. It's a very lucky nakshatra, very attractive. People will be jealous of you. We see that, you know, you always have that.
And I am very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But here's the thing. This is where people take you a little intense because your sun, first of all, when you have those planets together, the sun is your ego, your soul, your personality kind of to a degree, and your leadership. Mercury is your speech, your speaking, the way you get across to people, communication. Your moon is how you think, your emotions. So you have all those together, but it's in the nakshatra of Kritika, and Kritika is intense. It's cutthroat. Tells you exactly how it is, whether you like it or not. So Sandra, you have to understand if Jeff is kind of like, oh God, that looks horrible on you, don't take it offensively, okay? Just know that he just doesn't want you to look like an idiot, okay?
Yeah.
That's Jeff. I mean, that he's going to do that with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just looks, but it's for protection because he wants to protect you. It's all about protect. People take Kritika the wrong way. They act like it's this, and it's funny because a lot of people that are funny stand-up comedians, they have to have this cutting wit, and Jeff was a stand-up comedian at some point of his life. You know, so it's somebody that can like quickly think, come at you, tell you some advice, and then be like, but some people can't take that. You know, that's why sometimes when so just as long as that person is aware that this is how you are, and you're a Virgo, so you're always criticizing, like not criticizing, but you're always, you know,
analyzing,
always evaluating and analyzing.
Yeah, exactly. So Jeff is like a hard person. I would say this. Jeff's not going to just fall for any whatever, you know, we'll leave it at that. He's very picky.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing. Why wouldn't you be? Of course you should be.
No, with him being a rising Virgo and me being a moon, I mean, this, again, it sounds so familiar. So that pairs well together, obviously, right?
Because here's why you guys will be good for each other, because you'll keep each other on your toes. Because the deal is, Sandra might not be acting this way, Jeff, okay? But she's thinking it. She's thinking just like you. Probably just can change her mind in a second, too. Because of Rahu and Virgo, Rahu and Moon. So, like, she is thinking exactly how you're thinking. She just might be a little secret about it. She's not going to tell you. She's not going to be as expressive. When you're going to be blunt about it, she's going to be like, oh, maybe, you know, she's still going to be, she's not shy, but she's going to be, this is more internal for her.
Right.
Makes sense. But that's why you guys get along, because when you have Virgo energy together, it does work well. I've noticed, like when I dated somebody with a debilitated Venus with me, it worked great because we were on our toes 24/7, and it kept.
Yeah, and you have this understanding.
Yeah, it's like like don't cross that line. Keep it like, be clean. You know, that kind of stuff. Weird, so like normal stuff, but you know, because there's stuff that I'm a lunatic about, like that. So that's just me. All right, so that's my Venus in Virgo. But you guys are like this a lot in your lives with a lot of things. You know, both of you are perfectionists, or you want to be at least.
Yeah.
But
for sure,
Sandra is going to stray a little because Rahu's there. So it could sometimes rebel from perfection too. It depends on what kind of mood Rahu could be in. You know, one day.
Interesting.
Yeah, it depends on the subject. It depends on the whatever. All right. So Mars in the 12th, we know that can be some enemies and whatever we talked about. That's also why you're in the military, why you did, you know, you served and you lived across countries and all that stuff. Because Donald Trump has Mars in Leo in MAGA. His is in his first house, yours is in your 12th. So same type of energy, just different things. Yours are more hidden, his are more outspoken, but it's in a good place. So it means you can fight your enemies. Doesn't matter. Nobody can cross you. It's a good placement. It also gives you longevity. All right. So you have
like it.
all those things. So that's just a little general. And look, oh my God, Jeff, you have a strong Saturn.
And
Yeah,
what does
I see
that
that.
mean, Heidi?
Wow. It means you have a really strong Saturn, like really strong, meaning, you know, Saturn is the courage, the discipline, the hard work, the structure,
Yeah.
you know, like to do and stay through anything. And so when you have Saturn and it's in your 6th house, health, a lot of health stuff. You're going to serve people. You're going to feel a duty to serve because it's in Aquarius. It's going to be, you know, there's a thing for you to feel like you need to be helping people, period. That's no joke. So when people ever question that, they can just pound sand because that's not the case. You are.
Thank you, Heidi.
I think my Jupiter's that high. I think it's 600.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, yeah, he's strong. But sometimes you have to understand when, like, sometimes planets are like too high. You know, Mars, I've noticed, you know, it can be too, like, I'm not sold on the Shad Bala yet 100% because I've seen it work different ways. Okay. So
Interesting.
that good Saturn, a good strong Saturn can be a lot of stress. I mean, Saturn brings good things and it brings bad things, karma, and, you know, it's fear, worry, self-doubts, you know, so I'm sure in your life, you went through a lot of those things in your life too, when you were younger, you know,
Heidi, as you speak, I'm thinking about putting this together. You know, my strong Saturn, you know, puts me to the place where I have very high standards and very high ideals and very, very service oriented. And that critical part of me, that judgmental part of me can want to hold people to the same standards and make them walk my journey instead of allowing them to walk their journey.
Yeah.
Right. And that's sometimes can be, and that's hard for, like, unless you find somebody that's like you know, that has those same things, or you're going to be just, it just won't work. Okay. So
and that's one of the great things about Sandra. The biggest thing about her is integrity and honor and respect and courage. And it doesn't always manifest exactly the way I would like it to manifest, but I know it's there. And the beauty of someone like Sandra is you can just take your hands off, you know, not try to, you know, be the one that's hurting and guiding, and just know that she's going to do the right thing. She just might do it in a different fashion than I might do it. Of course, that might be irritating to me, but at the end of the day, it's all about everybody being divine, sovereign, and free in the whole relationship.
well, and then, okay, so let's look at, okay, so these are significators in your chart. So you are very moon control, like there's a lot of moon in your chart, planet with the highest degree. And then the DK is the spouse. Okay, so the planet you look at this for the spouse. And so Saturn is a very important planet, okay, for the spouse. Saturn, and you're in a Saturn dasha. Okay, how interesting is that? So that's
interesting.
Okay, and it's not, I'm going to say, like, Jeff, it's not easy for you to be in, like, relationships. You can do it, but it's good. It's like you're going to put all your courage into it. It's not like you're not going to just jump into a relationship with just any.
This is my first serious relationship in a decade.
Yeah. See? Exactly. And that's Saturn. A strong Saturn will make you really not, you know, it's going to make you wait, because Saturn's time. With time, it improves. And then you wait it out and you get a good reward. That's how Saturn works. All right.
Well, that's exactly my experience, Heidi.
Yeah. And Saturn is the wounded healer. Or I'm sorry, Chiron. I'm just doing a little Western a little bit. Chiron's the wounded healer, and it's in Saturn. So you're a double like healer, Jeff. I mean, it is. So if anybody ever says that, I'm saying it one more time. Jeff's 100% true intentions are 100% service, like serving people, helping people, so you can just end that.
Heidi, thank you very much. I appreciate you going out of your way to say that.
Yeah.
You know me.
You're a great
stand
friend.
up for everybody.
You're a great friend.
But, you know, I can vouch for that because, you know, I'm in the midst of, I won't divulge too much because it's too intimate and personal, but I'm in the midst of full liberation from, you know, what I've realized recently was I guess to put it minimally, a narcissistic relationship. You know, I'm an empath, a highly sensitive person. So, and Jeff has been a huge catalyst for that full liberation. He's been like my best friend, my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. Mm-hmm. And all the while I'm doing it on my own and I'm making the decisions on my own. But he's that wounded healer type of thing. It resonates deeply with me when you say that, because I'm living it with him. He is that.
And Heidi, it's the first time in my life where I've been able to actually show myself and prove to myself that I have healed myself, because I'm able to sit and allow her to do her thing her way. I'm not here telling her what to do. I'm not writing her a plan. I'm just supporting her. And she is actually doing everything that I would say to do.
Yeah.
She comes to it in a little bit different way. And it's so nice to actually realize, you know what? I was screwed up for 45 years, but it looks like I've actually kind of sort of got a few things right. It's nice to catch yourself doing something right every now and then.
How many plans have you written? How many plans, Jeff? You're probably a big planner. You like to write.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not me. That's why I knew I was no Virgo. I fly by the seat of my pants 24/7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how I get around. It's just pretty nuts.
No, dude, I have to-do lists, written to-do lists, and then I put the same to-do list in my calendar. I'm like neurotic about planning.
My to-do list is in my head. And I have a quick, I actually got I had to get a little bit better with readings, and this is my list, and it's like, you see, and if you're on the list, you get like, I'm old school. I don't do phone stuff, all that, none of that.
Yeah.
All right. Next. So okay, I got to say one other thing. Let's see. So if we go to your transits, so when you guys actually met, okay? So we have
physically.
Yeah, so we're not gonna, I didn't get to go back and look at all the dates because I got really slammed at work.
Gotcha.
All I want to say is people always look at the 7th house for romance, but I learned from Joni Petrie, your 5th house has to be activated. It just, the 5th house is romance, okay? And Saturn like affected, and I said to you, Jeff, you could move. Did I not? I said
you did. You said I could move.
And guess what?
And I thought you were crazy. I'm like, oh, she missed that one, but.
Yeah, right? All the things, like everything. Saturn, I mean, this is 2.5 years that you have this. Changes in your home life, changes in and what's Saturn? The spouse, DK. That's what we're going to look at. So somebody comes in and changes this up. Everything's changing in your life. And you never thought that, ever.
Yeah.
And it's right here. There's no getting around this. And the 5th,
that's amazing.
And the 5th house is romance. Okay. So the 5th house is romance, relationships, and it's a K2's there. So sometimes it can bring like, it probably won't be an easy transition and move. It's not going to be like, oh, it's Saturn and it's K2. Not fun. Okay. So just hold on to your horses, guys. Cause it's going to be like, it's not going to be, oh, okay, let's go do this and let's go do this. It's not going to be like that.
And it has been, there's factors outside of our control that have made it quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but once again, Saturn is that planet that you push through it, and your Saturn's so strong. This is Jeff's, this is a good thing for you.
Oh yeah, we'll be good.
You guys will be fine. Jupiter in the 2nd, this is good for money, opportunities, money. But when it goes into the 3rd and Scorpio, it's going to feel a lot better with creativity, your work, this kind of stuff, communication. It will be a lot easier.
And I guess it was maybe over a year ago now, maybe a year and a half ago, you told me that I was moving into a real period of financial gain. And
now it's retrograde though, so it kind of backtracked right now.
But it's been good. It's been really good.
Good. Okay. So that's what we can just look at that. And then when we go to Sandra's chart.
Oh boy.
I know. I won't say too much.
Here's where the fun starts.
I won't say too. Her
full transparency, lady. It's fine.
No, it's funny when I saw. So I was in Florida, and Jeff so graciously invited me to a seminar that I spoke at in his town.
And the extravaganza of enlightenment. You were the belle of the ball.
I was so tired after. But after the next day, I did Sandra's reading. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the next day. Actually, it might have been that night. I don't remember. It was the next day or the next.
I think it was 2 days later. I believe it might have been the next day, actually.
You were supposed to come to that, and then
I was, yeah.
And that's an interesting story too. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
because we had not met yet.
oh,
No, we hadn't met yet. The first time we ever met was October 17th. That was our first FaceTime session. I had signed up to do a session with him.
Yeah. But the first time we met physically was December 17th.
Yeah.
got it. Okay, hold on. I gotta go back to Jeff's real quick.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I just there's one thing I wanted to show. Where is it? Okay, this is another thing I want to show, because when I went to your yearly chart, this is a Varshapal chart. This, I'm telling you about 1% of what you have to look at in relationships, like when
Right.
you're gonna meet somebody.
Yeah.
This is like, I could sit here and do probably 5 hours of this stuff and talk about it, but I have to like make it brief. You have to look at the lordships, where they sit. You got to look at these dashas. You got to look at the Gemini dashas. You can look at that. Like, there's so many techniques, okay, that it's not just, I'm just like kind of breezing through them and giving you bullets.
Mm.
But on the transits, this is one of my favorite charts, is the Varshapal chart, okay? And Varshapal chart is yearly chart. Okay, so every year you're gonna have a new chart. You know, mine's been in the dumps for a long time, but actually it's getting a lot better, okay? But it's like, I swear to God, since 2012, I don't even know. Every year I look at it, it's like a joke. Next year it looks great. So,
Oh, good. That's good.
you have, if you look at this, you have Saturn, which is the DK spouse, in the 5th house, in the 5th house, right? And then you have Rahu and Ketu in the 4th and 7th, and you have Ketu in the 7th. And Sandra is heavily influenced by Ketu.
Interesting.
Bring relationships into your life. Yes, they can be karmic, but yes, I guess they can be soulmates or twin flames too. You know, it's something that this is a focus on relationships. If you were married, you might have got divorced, you know? So, I mean, there's going to be, there's just a lot of things Rahu and Ketu do, but for you, I would say this is, it's not bad. There's good things here when I looked at all of it overall and looked at the things. And actually on one of the things this said marriage in your yearly shams.
Say that again?
It said marriage in shams. So on certain trigger dates, I look at these dates for, these are 3 important sensitive dates. They're Persian things, okay? So
Right.
they're sometimes close, sometimes not close, okay? And they're never, if it says death, don't get worried, because sometimes it could just mean something ends, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
But if you look at, I saw for you, all right, well, first of all, Mary, hold on. I saw something different. When did you guys meet for the first time?
Physically?
No, well, talk on the phone.
Or October 17th.
Oh my God, that's so weird. I can't say why, but it has nothing to do with you guys, don't worry.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. What did I see? May. Where did I see?
Wow, she's going to just leave us hanging on that.
No, it has nothing to do with you guys.
I'm just kidding.
Rang a bell for her.
No. Where did it go? Well, right around that date, October. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, your birthdays are
Yeah.
coming up, right? October
Yes.
17th. Okay, so this can be a few days off. This has never been spot on, but in that vicinity, you can see it was there.
Oh, see, because it's October still, right?
October, yeah, October.
Wow.
For the
Yeah.
whole year. This is 3 sensitive dates you got to pay attention to. So
Wow.
and it's 34 points of strength, and that's strong. Yeah, I mean, this is like a strong year for you, Jeff, of transformation, change, everything.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, and maybe I saw it in Sandra's, so because I saw it in one of yours, I forget where, but
Interesting.
hold on. I saw something in May and March, and maybe it was probably Sandra's what I was looking at. All right, so
March was very significant for us.
March was significant. Yeah. That was when we made plans to actually get together for our first date.
got it. All right, so let's go back to Sandra. Okay, so
Very interesting.
Mm.
might have been yours. Well, Sandra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have Venus in the 5th. This is great for romance because your Venus is a little wacky anyway, okay? And your Venus is wacky because it's with K2. So meaning the pleasure, the romance, and that you thought you could have is it's a little jaded, okay? It's just, it always has been. So I'm not saying it's like that for good, but it's not easy to get you to open up. Like, it's just not. And you're very practical when it comes to that. And I think I remember saying that to you. And I know we talked about other things that I'm not going to bring up, but it's a heavy conjunction. All right. This is her part, but Leo ascendant. All right. So Sandra's a Leo, which is all about using your creative self-expression, but it's in the nakshatra of Purva Falguni. And Purva Falguni is all about love and relationships. It's really trying to find pleasure, relationships, and it's completely conflictual with your 8th house because this is all about trying to find it and then like letting it go. Because wherever K2 sits, he's been there, done that, doesn't care, can't see. So like,
he's got no head.
He doesn't have a head, and it's an imbalance there in that 8th house. Okay, so the 8th house is control, surrender, manipulation, change. We got a lot of crazy things, transformation things, and it's also transformation. All right. So
that's interesting. So would you say that people that have that will do just stuff in relationships? They're like, what was I thinking? Well, you weren't thinking because you didn't have a head.
I have it in my 1st house, and I could say, yeah, I've done that a few times. Okay. But so Sandra's isn't as intense. Well, I'll say a couple things that changed that. Her moon. This is like an overall package. You can't just say, oh, Sandra's going to go out and be like a wild maniac, just whatever. All right. It's not going to be like that because her moon is in Uttara Falguni. Her moon's thinking about doing the right thing. Now it's with Rahu. Okay. So Rahu's, it's going to be a lot of, your daughter really probably balanced you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know
she really did. She was a conduit for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she really probably was a huge, help of getting you grounded and keeping you, and because this sometimes can be hard and it changes with time. Okay, so you have Saturn in the 12th, like me. That's not always the most fun. There can be a lot of expenses. Okay, a lot of karma. It's a karmic life. You and I, Sandra, signed up for some karma in this life. Okay, we really have. So. No, but you have Jupiter and Sun in Rohini, which is very nice, and Taurus in the 10th house. So there can be work with finances, very creative. I mean, you could be, both of you guys, great writers, great thinkers, great, just very creative, both of you. Like the creativity that I can see you two. And Sandra has Moon and Rahu in her 2nd house. Okay, very calculative about what she says. Tries to be.
Yep.
The hardest thing for Sandra to do was probably start a YouTube channel. Okay.
Yes.
Because it's like Rahu wants to speak, but it gives you insecurities. Okay. And I have this. This is in my 1st house. Moon is and this is like, you're a great speaker. It's very calculative. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You're going to think things through, unlike Jeff and I. Jeff and I might say some things every once in a while. We're just going to, it might explode. It might just come out. I'm going to be the worst, but Jeff's going to be a little, but Sandra's going to think about it. Okay. Sandra's going to like calculate it. She's going to have notes out. She's going to have the whole shebang. She's going to be like, and she's going to worry about whatever she says, the right thing's coming out of her mouth, period. Obsessed with it. And not just on YouTube. This is like in your daily life. You'll be like this. You'll always be trying at least, but when you get mad, that Moon Rahu, it gets mad. Okay. So there's no it's not just like innocent and sweet. But, for the majority of it, great coaching, great teachers, great life coaches, people that can really get a message out. And helping people that have had issues. I mean, what you've dealt with, absolutely. I mean, you've come a long way. Look what you've dealt with. And so that's where you're the people that, if you're doing this kind of work and you never had any problems, you probably shouldn't be doing this kind of work. Right? You know what I mean? That's just my opinion, because you don't have any experiences. If you're so either I think a lot of people don't tell people about it and keep it hidden, just because they don't want people to know. But I think it's good to be able to speak it. And it's not easy for, my whole life and Sandra's life, we had a lot of secrets. A lot of things we had to keep hidden and covered. That's K2, secrets. We don't know this about us and about that. And then finally you just are like, screw it. And that's when you can be yourself.
You know, it's funny you say that too, Heidi, because it's so true. Like with this series that I just did on the empaths and the narcissists, before I did the videos on it and did the research on it, I was in a really tense place for a couple weeks. And then the minute I started talking about it and speaking my truth, there was like this release. What did you call it? What's the word that you said? It was like
catharsis.
It was like it was cathartic. It really was.
Yeah.
So for sure, that's me. I mean, this is me to a T.
Yeah, it's like, but one thing about you, when you have planets in Barini, you know, you are very empathetic, or whatever you call it. Okay, so you can feel people's pain and people's suffering, and you know, so that's one thing. You got to be careful who you're around. You have to be around like positive rocks like Jeff, because if you're around drains, they're just gonna drain you to the swamp. Like like they're gonna just, you know, they're gonna suck the life out of you.
Yeah,
That's because you're a very caring person. Venus, Mercury, and Ketu is just like somebody that wants to help the freaking world, and Saturn in the 12th. So both of you have that humanitarian, have that, you know, philanthropist, help everybody. Let's get everybody, you know, and that's the truth. Okay. So I'm not saying that, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah. Your Venus is 662. Jesus. See,
yeah. Oh, my Venus. Okay. Got it.
And how, like, you think about this. And I'm going to tell you, when K2 was in my fifth house on my moon in Revati, it wasn't that bad. K2 does well in Revati, I think. So when Venus is 600 points of strength, okay? That means, because you look at your Venus and you'd be like, damn, that Venus is a mess. Why? Because it's in the 8th house, it's conjunct Mars, and it's conjunct K2. You're right, Sandra. You don't need charts, anything. You could see dead people. You could talk to anybody you want. Whoever you want to summon in, they can roll through.
Well, it's like Lord Shiva. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not joking, like every psychic medium people that I've read their charts that are psychics, like legit see the dead people, bring the dead people back and stuff. I mean, this looks like their chart. Yours might be more. So
remember, I was saying you're a powerful medium.
Yeah.
She is, hands down. And, but she's practical, and she's got that moon in Virgo that's like, oh, let's logically think about this, you know? But it's good. But it's good because you won't let and I'm going to tell you, nothing can cross that either. Because when it's Venus in K2, it's like, it's a strength. And I look at Venus, you would think that Venus is a mess, but I would say that Venus is somebody that learns over time through suffering and through a lot of shit, okay? Through a lot of horrible abuse and stuff like this, okay? Over time, how to actually love and how to actually be, you know, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can learn that. Because it stays there in the Navamsha chart. It's not going anywhere. It's still here in the Navamsha chart. So.
Wow.
You know?
What does it say on those significant dates? You know, the for love and marriage and all of that stuff under mine, Heidi.
All right. Yeah, I know I saw it on somebody's. Hold on. It's funny, Sandra's at clubs too, I noticed, huh?
Yeah,
yes.
5. I'm a 5, yeah.
That's very interesting.
Okay, so first, like I said, you have 5th house, Venus in the 5th house. You have Sun in Rohini. Jeff's moon is in Rohini. He, you know, it's like there's right there, 7th house fit. I mean, this is good. Oh, I won't say it on here. Just, it's not bad. It's nothing about you two. And I just was going to ask you a question. But I'll ask you later. Remind me.
Okay. Fascinating stuff.
This is really great, yeah.
Okay, look, here we go. Anticipation, marriage, March 9th, April 1st, March 10th, like around that time. Now, it has to be around that date exactly, but, you know, around this time, it's triggered heavily. This isn't the only thing you can look at, okay? But there's strive, too, right? There's strive here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happens, but, like, you can, you know, there's a lot of other things happening, too.
Yes.
So
yeah, that was our first date.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yours, you know, like this is great. Jupiter's in the 11th, Rahu's in the 10th. Could be, you know, career changes. Here we go again. You're moving. Everybody could be moving.
Yes.
In the 4th, move. 4th house is moving locations. Change up and
Wow.
locations for you. It's
How
like,
do you realize we're both moving, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's, well, I do. I can see it in the charts.
So we
You
literally
are
are
We
both,
both
literally
moving.
are moving.
yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
And Saturn's in your fifth.
Fascinating.
Moon. So the moon is, yeah, okay. You can't, so it's hard to like go by. The moon travels every day, so you can't really go by yours. There's too much to look at that. But for you, Saturn in the fifth of romance. Now K2, you got to watch out for the hidden enemies. That's the best advice I'm going to give you.
Oh, really?
Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
That's so powerful, Heidi. What you
Hidden
just said is
enemies
so powerful.
and
K2's where? In the
K2's in the sixth, Rahu's in the 12th. So you are, and I probably said, I swear to God, I remember saying this to you, because I said, you're going to eliminate a lot of things that aren't supposed to be in your life. It's like a cleaning house. That's Rahu comes in, he does a fast sweep. All right. He sweeps you. So never forget, Joni Patry, like, love her. She's a great astrologer. But this is why you got to be careful with Rahu and K2. She's like, Rahu's going to conjunct your Venus, and he's going to meet you somebody that sweeps you off your feet. And yeah, I met somebody who swept the rug from under my feet. So and it can go that way. And she was right. She was right with the right subject, with the right thing. It just didn't happen that way. And this is Rahu and K2.
Wow.
They do these things. Rahu and K2 are things you can't control. It's what you're here to learn. All right. So when Rahu comes in, circling up that Saturn, this happens.
Sandra is literally cleaning up years of stuff. Just, I mean, bam. And so strong, so forcefully, so consistently, and with such amazing conviction. It's really, it's something I have great respect and admiration for watching how she's taking control of her life. Mm-hmm. The stuff that I talk about, she's actually living and doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's Rahu. He'll just start ripping and removing. It's not Saturn. Like when you have a Saturn, it's like this long, strenuous move. And it's like, if it's in the 12th, I had my Saturn return the 12th. So did you, Sandra. So like we looked at your Saturn return, it probably was just not a fun time. In the 12th, debts, expenses, changes, endings. Like if I went to your Saturn return, I guarantee you it was not fun. Okay. So for relationships, you also have to look at somebody's Jupiter. So Jupiter is in a good spot for you. This is like some saving grace for you too, like helping out that, and these are Jeff's planets. Your Jupiter, Rohini, that's on Jeff's moon. Okay, so now we go to the compatibility.
Wow, this is fascinating stuff.
It's fascinating, yeah.
What are you chuckling about? Oh.
What are you laughing at?
My cat.
Oh. I love your daughter. Is so funny. She's like,
oh my God, Heidi, I forgot to tell you. She invited you to, I was taking her to school about 2 weeks ago, and she goes, Mommy, can I invite Jeff and Heidi to my birthday party? I said, sure, we can invite her. I said, I'll let Heidi know. I said, I don't think she's going to be able to come though, honey, because she lives.
Look at you two. You guys are about to have a birthday, both of you, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put you guys in here. Okay. So when you look at this compatibility, this is, okay, so it's called the CUDA system. All right, then what this is doing is basically taking the nakshatras. So relationship compatibility is based off of the nakshatras. I mean, I don't know how many people know that, but that's the case. So, and it takes your moon. So Indians will say, are your moons compatible? And do they have 20 points? That's what you need. And that's kind of all they look at. And you have this karmic curse called Veda or Raju, I don't know how to say it, right? So you can see Veda, these are the two worst things. So you have, first of all, I can tell you, there's no way I would date somebody with either one of these curses, because this brings misfortune in your life, that there's things like people die.
Wow.
Okay, so, and these are the nakshatras that do it. All right, so you can see. And it's really the moon, okay? So you have to look at, because you guys will have, like you can have it in certain other things, okay? So, but the main thing is the moon. That's the core one. So these are the nakshatras that are like, no, can't do it. Okay, then this is how, and this software goes through and explains all of this to people. So, but when I first look at it, I'm like, okay, is this good or is this bad?
Right.
Because these are two things, and it's the moons. That's why it's highlighted. But you also have to look at this stuff. Like, do you have a sun moon connection? Do you have, so I look at this Richter scale here. Do you have these things? Are they above 20 points? And not just the moon, because that's like, are you guys buddies? Like, are you guys gonna have kids, be able to have kids together? Is it gonna work out nicely? And a lot of marriages in India are a business. It's just the fact
Right.
they are in a relationship. It's like they get along, they're friends, they would never leave each other, but there's no passion like we need here. I mean, you know, we're a little more confusing, and they have different morals, different standards. God bless them. Props to them. We don't, but we're not different. Like, I have so many friends from India that are miserable, I've dated guys that one was married and was going through a divorce. He was separated for years. The family was coming in from India to try to save the marriage. You know, like, it was a big mess. Like, flying in from India to try to save things. And they both wanted it to be done. Like, it was mutual. It wasn't like, you know, but the family, it's more about the family. So that's
interesting.
That's why, you know, it's tough. So, all right. Jupiter is, what kind of connection do you have? Do you guys have a sun connection? Do you have a sun connection? If you have a good sun connection, that means you guys will have fun together. The moon connection is, like, thought processes are the same. The Mars connection is passion, but it's also hostility and fire, you know? So I'm going to say, because, you know, that's probably a good thing that you guys have less points of, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't need any, both of you guys have fiery charts, so you don't need any more of that.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mercury, your communication's good. Jupiter, meaning if you guys ended it, I would say you would be friends, but you wouldn't be like, oh, buddies.
Right.
Because there's passion there, you know? But if it ended, it wouldn't be like, oh, let's be best friends, you know? But it could be. Venus. Now there's a Venus thing, and then there's Saturn's longevity. And so you have to look at all these things. You have to look at, is the sex going to be good? And, you know, you have to look at the 8th house, and you got to look at. So the main thing that I look at, and personally, well, first of all, my charts get screwed up with everybody because I have K2 there, right? So personally, that's why I love taking advice from Ernst, because he will explain. Sometimes when you have a K2 Venus connection, it's like a drain. It's a karmic relationship, right? It ruins things. But you don't have that. You have, at least it's not close to each other, right? You have not even at all. You have Jupiter conjunct moon exact degrees. Sun almost exact, meaning you did know each other in past life, but this is so close, like in degrees. And Jupiter moon is it means you were probably relationships, people, you know, lovers in a relationship, but it's good. It's not, you don't have Venus conjunct K2. Now Rahu conjunct Venus tends to be good, because it's like Rahu is the obsession, the passion, okay? But what I'm going to say is Jeff's moon is activated. Or I'm sorry, Jeff's Venus, you guys have a Venus moon connection, Jeff does, like heavy. And you want the man to have the Venus moon connection 100% more than, because your Venus is already a little, you know, it's like, it's already a little on the rocks. So you need other things than just the Venus. But Jeff needs that Venus, that 8th house Venus, that, you know, he needs that the pleasure, the love, you know, that stuff. So I will say, Jeff will never be like, oh, this one's better. Never. Because he's so Venus moon 40 points. It's amazing. I usually look for like 10. All right. Hoping for 10. So that you want this.
Yeah.
And you really,
that means I'll be satisfied with her?
Yeah. She satisfies your Venus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
40. I know where that 40 points comes from. I understand it completely.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. But you guys activate, like, so then you have to see, this is just one little piece. Then you have to see, where do the planets sit? Okay, so where do your moons sit in each other's houses? Well, okay, so Jeff's planets sit in Sandra's 10th. The moon sits in the 10th. So motivates you for career and success, and, you know, and that's so true, right? That's how you guys, that's where you met.
Yeah.
And look, Sandra's and Jeff, the moon motivates him in the first house. That's great. That's
wow.
that's it. That's doing good things. She's influencing you in really good ways. There's nothing. No, there can be some ugly fights with you two. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everything's going to be freaking wonderful. Okay, no, that's not the case. But there are going to be some ups and downs for sure. But it's like overall, I don't see anything and say, wow, that's a mess. That'll never work. Because, that's the majority of the charts I look at for myself. I'm like, nope, move. No.
Yeah.
All right. So like, but I look at you, and this is just not in relationships. You can look at this for business partnerships. I look at my friends. Are you nuts? People that I work with, everybody. This is how I got good at astrology, because I want to see who this person is, how they're going to affect my life. Is it going to be positive or negative? How are they going to blow off the deep end? And then you can control things that way. But overall, you guys have a solid, there's potential. I'm never going to be like, oh, you guys are the best thing since sliced bread. Okay. I'm just not that type of person. I'm a realist. Okay. So I know that you guys can think you're soulmates, and you guys very well could be twin flame soulmates. You guys very could be, but I try to leave that word out, because then I start going down that hocus pocus line. And then I feel like people get their expectations wrong. And then when it doesn't work, you're freaking twin flame and, ends up taking off, burns out. Okay.
Yeah.
Then somebody's going to be mad at me. So I'm very cautious when I say that.
Well, can I ask you something though, Heidi? So when you said, where, I don't know when you named the planets, but basically you were saying that it shows that we have been in relationships in past lives, but it's good karma. Mm-hmm. So is that clear?
Yeah.
And okay, got it.
Because you have, anytime planets are like exact degrees, that's definitely, you don't want Mars on Saturn in the 6th house, exact degrees. You guys would kill each other. That's not good for relationships. It's not, it sucks, fights all day long. You don't want a moon in the 8th house, obsessions, people that when it ends, somebody could die.
Yeah.
Not even joking. I'm not joking. Or somebody could overdose.
Oh boy.
Okay. So these are things people like overlook, I think, but I always negative, just to be safe. Why are you going to put yourself in harm? So,
why would you? Yeah.
Right. Because there are certain things that they can activate things in people's charts that they're karmic. So what I would say to that person is, you want to date this person, or you want to stay married to this clown? Okay, go ahead. But this is what you're going to deal with.
Yeah.
Make that decision. I'm not going to say to them, oh, you shouldn't do this. They have to make that decision on their own.
Right. Crazy stuff.
Wow, amazing. It's fascinating. It really is.
So that's just a little and this is not like when you do this stuff, really, this is one other thing I'm going to show you, because I tried to do this, but it just didn't have the time. Last thing you can do on this software. So if I wanted to know when you're going to meet, you guys want to know when you're going to meet somebody, when it could be triggered, you can go, and I can't run it because it will shut the whole computer down forever, this stuff. And you go transits, predictive, and you can run a search. And you can run a search from when you were married before, and those months. I've done a lot of searches this way, and pick specific dates, and then you hit the Navamsha chart. You can do this with money, when you're going to make money, when all this stuff. And then
powerful.
And it will come up every single date, every single trigger, every single transit that can possibly activate it. And it's pretty.
Will it tell you future, like you said, you see in both of our charts about the moving?
Yes.
So would it tell you okay, the move's going to happen in July or August?
Yeah, I could look at that stuff
Cool.
So I could go in your D4, you look at the 4th house for moving, and you would break that down. So each, like I say, this astrology is not, your sun sign. Okay. It takes time and breaks this down. Ernst, this is technical stuff. This stuff is now these dates might be a 2-day time frame, because if the doctor didn't rectify or didn't write your birth time right, by a few minutes, but yeah, pretty spot on to the day that. And I even asked Ernst about that car I was going crazy over, right? Because I couldn't figure out what I was going to do. And he's like, I don't think you're going to get it. But I could have got it. It's just I didn't. I realized, you know what? This is going to be a tie, a connection.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that I agreed with that. Ernst and I were on the same page. I feel like I'm doing something right, because he's a master.
Yeah, he's great.
Yes, good.
Now, I want to tell you just one quick story, Heidi, that kind of epitomizes what's going on with this relationship. 4 months ago, if you'd talked to me about twin flames, like, get that con out of my face. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo, rainbows, unicorns. Come on, let's be real. But about 3 years ago, I got this pendant, and it's got, it's black and it's got Shiva on it. And around this bead has the Shiva mantra. What's that Shiva mantra?
Om Namaha Shivaya.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Like I heard
Mine too.
Time.
So anyway, I got this about 3 years ago, and most people think of Shiva as blue. Shiva's black here. And about 3 years ago, Sandra had a personal visit from Lord Shiva when she was recanting the mantra on this bead, and he showed up and he was black, just like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And this relationship is one thing after another like that.
Yeah.
So that's enough to got me.
Telepathic
Okay,
communicating.
so I will talk about Shiva. So what is Shiva, the god of, he's the destroyer. Okay.
The destruction of ego.
Destruction of ego.
And he's also, but he destroys, so, for better. Right?
Yes.
Right. He destroys.
Yes.
And think about it. If you're going to be able to be in a relationship, twin flame relationship especially, the only way to be able is to destroy your ego, the bad parts of your ego, and then be reborn as, into service and balance. And that's what Lord Shiva is all about, is destroying the bad, quote unquote bad, or that which doesn't serve you, so you can arise in newness and be focusing on that which does serve you.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty.
But it's never easy.
Hell no. Especially with people with egos like Jeff and I. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh no.
Heidi, what I found out is that ego makes a terrible master, but it can be a very efficient servant.
Mm.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to say, though? You need to have an ego to survive in this world. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And to do what we do,
yeah,
you have to have some level of ego.
Absolutely. You can't just you survive in life. You can't be successful without having an ego. That's, I feel like, the control mechanism that the government makes you think the ego is, the language. It's the whole, what is an ego? It's like, who invented these things?
I think it's a delicate balance between free will and the ego's will.
But at the same time, you can't be successful if your ego's out of control.
No, right. You have to be, everything's all about the balance, right?
Yep. And that's what Lord Shiva does. Destruction of the negative aspects of ego and rebirth and empowerment of the positive aspects of ego. So it becomes not your master, but your servant, and a very faithful and powerful servant if you've done the inner work. Nothing happens to you, nothing happens through you until something happens in you. And there's only one person that can do that, and that's you.
That's true. And, I get a lot of people that, and, I got to make two things because I want to agree with you on the video. And you guys should go watch this. Sandra Dee's channel and Jeff's channel, they both have this video. And it was really good because, people were asking like, oh, can you meet your soulmate? If you're looking for your soulmate, it's not your soulmate. If you think somebody's your soulmate, it's probably not your. I have done readings for people that, no, because like this blew my effing mind, okay? I have done readings for people. When I heard this story, I didn't know what to even say. And I'm going to use this as a scenario. I had a person. I'm not going to say if it was who it was, what it was. I had a person that this person thought I knew what I was going to say. Her soulmate was somebody that was not her soulmate. She's waited probably 20 years for this guy.
Wow.
20 years of her life. And I felt so horrible. Like, I just didn't even know what to say. Like, it's like, move.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I said. Okay. It's not your soulmate.
Oh, boy.
What it did was teach you a lot of lessons.
Oh, boy.
A lot of pain. It's a karmic relationship. If it's pain and if you're waiting on it and it's hurting you, it's karma. Move on.
Yep.
Stop sticking in this old karmic patterns with these old toxic people because you're afraid to be alone. Because being alone is so fun.
She's talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking to her.
but these are the lessons that, and I don't want to be speaking out of school, but this is what Sandra's been through for the last number of years, and she's
I said that to her.
Liberation.
I've said to Sandra, you can go down toxic patterns just for certain reasons to because you don't, you need to feel that security.
Yeah.
Both of you guys have heavy Taurus in your chart, so that means you want that security. It's not always about finance, it's about stability, security, and feeling secure. So however that comes to you, so it's tough. And when you have K2 conjuncting things in your chart, that's tough. It really does, because there's identity crisis 24/7. Like, what the heck? Because you're really not going to be happy. It's like, K2 is going to teach you a lesson. You're never going to feel that what you think you're going to feel when you have certain things that are be stuck in your chart. So you have to learn how to use them and modify them and use them to the best and take the best, because they're there. They're not going anywhere. They're staying there. So you can either ruin your life with them. No, I'm not talking about you, Sandra. Like some people that have the chart, and they can completely screw up their lives. Jeff's falling asleep.
No, I'm not. It's just amazing stuff. I've been awake since 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't sleep much. I only slept 3 hours, so I missed my
drive to you guys.
4 hours.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Like me to Pittsburgh, which I don't go much at all.
Yeah, unless you have to. I remember the whole Pittsburgh conversation.
Yeah.
Heidi, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate you bringing this on. And it just goes to show, I mean, you can have a lot of woo-woo, you can have a lot of foo-foo, and you can base your life on that if you want to. But sooner or later, you got to come back down to earth. You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at the charts. You got to look at reality. And you got to listen to it. It's, one of Sandra's lessons has been, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking for relationships and you're looking for somebody to complete you, that's probably a problem anyway. But when you see the numbers and you see the charts and you see the reality, you got to be mature enough to believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trust me, I trust the charts. That's all I can say. And you know what? You don't have to trust me. Nobody has to listen to me. I don't care. I believe it. I believe that I trust. This is about the only thing that I trust.
Yeah. How long have we known each other, Heidi?
Almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't known you to be wrong yet. So that's what I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. If you need some guidance, she's not going to tell you what to do, but she'll give you the tools that will allow you to figure it out on your own. And I want to thank you, Heidi, for your friendship and for the assistance that you've given me in my life.
So you guys, make sure you go check out their channels. I'm going to pin them in the comments. So it will be the first comment. It's going to be pinned on my main channel and on the backup. So
thank you, Heidi.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Just trying to stop this.